Apologies for the slight delay in start. I have been gathering information about this one incident that took place in a town council meeting in the city of Edison in New Jersey. Edison is that strategically located city where many Indians, many South Asians call home. Edison is about, I think, 50 to 60 miles from Manhattan. I'm not 100% sure. Don't kill me for getting the distance wrong, but it isn't that distance like, it'll take you an hour. So you can take the train and commute to, Manhattan if you're going to work there. And Edison gives you a good, modest, lifestyle so that you can afford a good house for a reasonable amount of price, that sort of stuff. And a really nice balance. Princeton is further south, the Princeton University, but Edison is considered to be that affordable place. So many Indians call it home. So what happened in a town council meeting in Edison where a man who was carrying the United States flag was asked to go out? Don't believe me? Just watch this video.
I'm holding up an American flag to represent the constitutional values.
I'm going to have to give you a warning, and if you continue, I will have to forfeit. You'll have to forfeit your time.
Well,
Sir, you're forfeiting your time.
It's my constitution. It's my constitutional right to do this. If you get sued, you will lose. My suggestion to you is that you get a second opinion from competent counsel because you are wrong. You are interfering with the form of this meeting by interfering with the right to speech of a member of the public. You're interfering with the speech, and it should stop now. I'd like to continue.
They can pass the law yet.
This is an arbitrary.
See the policeman coming there to escort him out.
His time is forfeited.
And it violates the law. Your time should be forfeited. Your position should be forfeited. By your actions, you forfeit your right to preside over this meeting.
Please have him in the room. That's not okay. Room. Thank you.
Shame on you.
So viewers, I'm just going to freeze here so you guys can take a look at the name tag. Who is the president of this council? His name is Ashish Patel. And what has happened evidently is that people used to come to these meetings. I'm just going to go to full screen now. People used to come to these meetings. They were using props. They were using masks even, like a Frankenstein mask or something horrific to try and get a rise out of the council member. So the council members got a little tired of these kind of gimmicks and they passed an ordinance. It's not promulgated into law yet. Remember, ordinance is ordinance. It has to be voted in. And this particular meeting took place after that ordinance came into effect. And the ordinance said two things. One is that you cannot use props or masks while addressing the council. One. Second is there was a limit of 4 minutes for anyone to make a speech so that they don't just keep on rambling and wasting the council's time. Now, the interesting thing is, if you go back and freeze this video and take a look at it, I'll give you 3 or 4 links so you can even watch it on your phone, just the story around it and the backdrop of this whole story. So the question that stands in front of us is, does using a US flag constitute a prop? What is a prop? A prop is something that you're trying to make something that it is not. For example, the background that I have here is a prop because I'm trying to make you think that I'm actually giving this speech in front of the White House, whereas I'm not. I'm on the other side of the country and the farthest place from the White House. And yet I'm trying to make it look like I am in front of the White House, right? So likewise, will somebody who's just holding the United States flag be made to appear as if he is using a prop? I mean, US flag is being patriotic, being nationalistic. What's wrong in that? That's the question that people are asking. So somewhere I think the ordinance has something that is wrong. You can limit the number of minutes a particular speaker can speak. That's not an issue, because I have seen abuse of these kinds of things by many people. This masks business is wrong. While it is not illegal, people do things like this. And I've also seen monkey balancing take place. For example, there was a meeting of there was a town hall meeting of Ro Khanna that I was part of, and I'm just shooting the whole thing. I'm not participating, even though my business is in his constituency. So I am actually somebody who suffers or benefits from whatever ordinances or pork spending that Ro Khanna might do. For example, if he says that his district has some special privileges, I'll be happy. Like no rent for next 24 months. That some bill will pay for it. Yeah, I'll go for it. I don't have to pay rent. The point I'm trying to make is, in such things, right? This was overwhelmingly a issue where people were asking some difficult questions of Congressman Ro Khanna about whether he supports the SB 403 caste discrimination bill. That was the question. People had come in numbers, and people had lined up to ask questions. But you know what the first question that got asked was? By an Indian Muslim American, talking about how a library was burnt down in Bihar. And I went home and I searched and searched and searched. I could not find a single reference to this. Whatever it was that he was making up, you can clearly see that the entire assemblage, which was all Indian Americans fuming at this caste discrimination bill, was tried to put on the defensive by asking this question. Who did this? Somebody in Ro Khanna's team? I'm asking this direct question. And do you know how Ro Khanna answered that question? Very, very clever, I must say. I'm not saying I like the answer, but it's a very clever answer. The answer is, he said, I don't comment on any state issues. Well, some of these comments will come back to bite you in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm not saying what he said was right or wrong. He may have gotten a get out of jail on this one, but clearly the audience was fuming. Luckily, even though the Senate and the Assembly passed it in California state, the governor vetoed it. But I'm thinking that these people are going to wait for some time, lie low, and they'll try again. California is as woke as it gets. My point in trying to make all these things are that I have seen town councils meeting get rowdy, and these are people who want to create chaos, people who want to try and garner attention. For example, a resident of Stockton, California, 100 kilometers or 120 miles away from the place where this meeting was taking place, another meeting where the meeting was to appreciate the contribution of Hindu Americans to that particular city. This resident comes there and takes up a totally different issue, again caste discrimination, stands outside, creates a ruckus, and even after the meeting is over, doesn't want to leave. What locus standi does somebody who lives 120 miles away have, especially when this city is passing a resolution appreciating the contribution of Hindu Americans for that particular city's progress? See how people paint outside the lines? I don't want to name that person. You all know who it is. Otherwise, you can put by way of comments. I don't care. Anyway, so these kind of things are happening all the time. So while I can see why the town council said that props are banned and that everybody can only speak for 4 minutes, that's fine. Having a limit on how long you can speak in a particular meeting is fine. But if you have 120 people and each one talks for 4 minutes, that's 480 minutes. That's 8 hours. 8 hours. That's a long time, right? So, and I've seen some meetings go very, very long just for the same reason. So that I can understand. But what is this props business? Can you be more specific? But unfortunately, what happened was that this was before the elections. So this was before the presidential elections. The New Jersey Republicans went to town with this. They just showed this particular video clip. And you know what? New Jersey is almost purple now, and it's almost ready to turn red. That's what happened. The people are seething, and when you misgovern, and they probably people who live in all these suburbs, they're very close to the city of New York, Manhattan, what have you. They are probably seeing some of the utter chaos that the illegals are creating. So New Jersey is going to turn red. Maybe New York will take a little longer time, but even that will turn red. This is all I think is going to happen. But somebody is saying, Venkata Mandapati is saying that, and good that I left Edison long back. Venkata, you know that Edison is the East Coast Silicon Valley. I mean, there are so many Indians there, so many Indians there. Edison, some of the neighborhoods are completely, I mean, this is exactly like San Jose, for example. The place I live in, you know, if I go to the farmers market, I would say 60% are of Indian origin. We all have called this home. We like the place, we like the avenues, we like the boulevards. San Jose is like that, 25% Indian American and another 25% Asian. So I mean, whatever it is, that is the makeup of that particular city. One thing I want to also impress here is this ordinance was not a unanimous vote. Another person, Indian American called Patil, he did not vote for it. The vice president also, if I remember correctly, didn't vote for it or abstained, and another council member also didn't vote for it. Again, they voted against it. So it's not a unanimous decision. Maybe the town council needs to go back and review what exactly it is that it is trying to prevent. There are other cities, Chicago suburbs, where the entire town council is comprising of people from one religion. God save the residents of that place. There was one contestant who had been a long time, been in local politics. That person literally got run out of town by them. I don't want to mention names here because it's what has already happened. Thank you, Barack Hussein Obama. Actually, Barack is an interesting name. Many people are telling me that it's not Barack, it is Mubarak, and also that it is not Obama, it is Osama. Because Kenyan Muslim names are like that. Well, one might say, oh, he's not a Muslim. Well, I don't know. His opposite number, John McCain, said he's not a Muslim, but somewhere something doesn't add up. Anyway, there are lots of questions about his being a US citizen and all that stuff. It's all done and dusted. 8 years we have suffered his presidency. Now we have also suffering the consequences of that. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you that things are not what they seem. Some of these council meetings are really becoming rowdy. Order needs to be established. And some of these upstarts are really not completely versant with what is within the rules and permitted. This may be one of those cases where you might say, well, he knew that he was not supposed to bring in flag, but he did just to make a point. Yes, it is possible. But I personally, if you ask me, does bringing a US flag to a city council meeting constitute a prop? I would say no. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.